All right, we're going to open the meeting of July 25th Select Board meeting. We're going to begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All righty. Everybody have a chance to look at the manifest. Take a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the manifest on June 27th, 2022, and the payroll for 6/28/2022.
Second.
All in favor?
I
Got a couple more there?
make a motion to apply the manifest of July 11th, 2022, and payroll for July 12th on 2022.
You can do them all.
Okay, and July 25th of 22 for the manifest, and July 26th for payroll.
Second.
All in favor?
I
Okey-dokey.
Oh, sorry. We were just approving the manifest and payroll.
Yep.
Very normal. Just-
Yep, routine. Minutes. You guys have a chance to look at 6/6 and 6/20 minutes.
I was not here, but
I'm the only one who's, but I'm fine with them. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of June 6th, 2022, and the minutes for June 20th, 2022, as written.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Hey. Assigned committees and boards.
I was not able to attend last meeting for the planning board.
You got nothing, right?
Oh, budget us. We're not.
Okay. Marston is coming along great. Matt Kukuchis and team, all the folks out there, doing amazing work. We now have the irrigation in, we now have the fences in, and it's looking great. I don't know if you have anything you want to add to that, Chris?
I'm just waiting on the weather for an opportunity to kill some weeds and plant some grass, or reseed some grass.
Yep. Really, really, everybody who's been involved in that should be proud of how much work they've done and how much they've accomplished. All right, that's it. Chris?
Just a few things. Since you last met, I believe, the SAU offices have opened within the old town hall. They're up and running and seem to be relatively comfortable. Everything looks like it's working well. Looks good. And they have their hands full, of course. Starting a new SAU is full of all kinds of, I don't even know what, but they're in good shape. Quick congratulations to Matt Pitkin from our highway department. He's finished enough training to be named what's UNH calls a Rhodes Scholar. Program that they have different levels of it. This is Matt's first level at the tech school at UNH. ROAD, obviously not RHOE, but anyway.
Still more important to us.
Yes. We sent you some info on the paving plan for the summer, which included a change in what we're gonna do to Flutter Street. Did you have any questions or concerns about that piece where, what they found when they started doing work over there, and we comfortable with that change? Grinding that up instead of overlaying it this year? Yeah.
Well, let's see it not happen, but it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's where I was concerned about.
Yeah.
The amount of money to take Flutter Street for the use,
But that's also a very high-use road.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I'd like to see it done right, so if
Yep.
it means grinding it, grind it.
Good. And last bit of good news, Chief Vilchuk is having some success with hiring. We've got two new folks on board as firefighter EMTs and another one coming next month. Varying degrees of experience and and training and history from where they're from, but happy to have him. He'll be bringing all his new people in to meet with you at some point when he gets the last one. He's looking for one more, and he's preparing to make that switch to the around-the-clock coverage. He's got that schedule ramped up. I don't know what his trigger date is, but it's sometime in August, making that switch. So we were really nervous about being able to hire up to do that, and looks like we're gonna get there. So,
Great news.
yep, and so when we get the last, and once they're all in a groove, then he'll bring them all in, and you can meet them all, but you didn't want to bring them in one at a time. And that's it, you got a big night, so remember, there's a bunch of things that didn't fit on the agenda, so don't railroad through at the end. We touched on all of them, you've got all the documents of them, but we just don't have them listed here, so when you get to the end, you aren't actually at the end. Yeah.
Chris, I think it was listed under action items from last meeting, but the Facility Assessment Committee can give us an update on that.
They're meeting tonight, their second meeting. They've got a suggested charge, a statement that I wanted to run by them, make sure they were kind of in agreement with where we were heading, and we'll come back to you at next meeting for a formal appointment with that. They're starting to set meetings with department heads for an introductory talk about facilities. I think Chief Woodman might be with them tonight, actually, so they're hitting the ground running.
Any questions or anything else for Chris on the general report? Okay. Action items from last meeting, the facilities was one, the other one is Code of Ethics, which is on my plate to create a draft, and I think we have that on the agenda for August 8th. And that covers it for action items. Assessing will move later in the meeting. And then the next two topics, well, the next one is E911 readdressing. So, should we dive into that? So, as we recall, after discussions with the chief, both chiefs, and the state, we put forward a proposal to take a look at the addressing road names and how it relates to efficiency and effectiveness of our support, our response, fire and police response. We were given the go-ahead by town meeting a year ago to start pursuing this. We had a public hearing about a month and a half ago. We got input from different residents on names that could be used for each of the identified roads that we wanted to address. We are at the point now where we have the collection of the proposed names, and it's for us to decide how we move forward. So, did you guys review all of the material that was sent to us from Chris with the suggested names? Okay.
Want to go individually road by road?
That's fine with me, unless there's any general discussion first. I'm happy with going road by road.
Do you want to go road by road, and then as people need to discuss as we come up from each individual road?
I don't know, I mean, I'm just trying to figure out how do you want to do it?
Yeah, I mean, as far as tonight goes, it's up to us to decide how to go forward. We've had public input at the public hearing. We've got, suggestions from each of the neighborhoods, most of which I think had consensus or at least agreement amongst multiple neighbors on what the naming should be. So, I mean, honestly, if there's someone who has new or, compelling information that needs to be discussed tonight, that's fine, we can open it up for brief comment, but I think really we've gathered everything that we need, and it's ours to decide how we move forward. So Ben, would you like to go road by road?
I just don't see any issues with any of these roads.
Well, we're just gonna pick a name, some have 3 suggestions.
All right, then let's do road by road.
This is where we're gonna go with that road, this is where we're gonna go with that, because of,
That's, okay.
so,
Yep,
I think it's more just a formality of that.
it is, for sure. All right, let's start with Highland upper section. And Chris, correct me if I'm wrong with any of these as I go through, but the proposed, that came from the neighborhood for Highland upper section was Woodland Avenue. Woodland Avenue. There weren't any flags raised by the state on that.
Did we submit these to the state, or did we submit these afterwards?
I would think of it as a preliminary submission. They're not gonna change much, but, we basically sent them what we had, from public feedback, and you have their response to all of that. So there will be one more formal review there, and actually a signing of the numbers once you make decisions on these tonight. But the first pass has been done, and you have their comments on that.
What do you need from us, Chris? Do you need a motion? You don't need motion road by road, but motion by the collective group of these are the names that we're gonna go with, or do you not even need a motion?
Yeah, we need you to vote on it to change the name of a road.
Okay, do we have to do it individually, road by road?
Not as long as it's clear for the record what we're doing, or whatever produces a clear record of what your intention is.
So at the end of this, we can have a motion that says, rename this road this, rename this road this, rename this road
Yep.
this. Okay, fine. All right, North River Lake Road East, the various proposals were Camp Road, Cottage Lane, Birch Tree Lane, Bazo Road, and Overlook Lane. The state did express concerns about using generic terms like Camp Road, Cottage Road. That was also suggested, like Cottage was suggested for a couple of different roads. So,
Basil is not a name of a family or anything on that road, is there?
do not know where that came from.
Okay.
No idea.
Isn't that one of the state's thing too? They don't want it named after people?
They kind of said that, but then some of the other roads that were, names that were proposed, they didn't come back and flag as
Oh, okay.
things that would not be accepted. So,
Is there any roads in town that would be confused with?
That name?
That,
I don't
I'm
think
just
so.
I
throwing it
got a
out
list
there.
of all the names here, and there's not one that's even
Close to it,
close to
right?
the B's for that one.
Okay.
The only,
There isn't one, even Birch Road, there's nothing that, Birch Tree Lane, sorry. There's nothing under our town names, so.
the Overlook one, I just didn't know if that would cause confusion with Overlook Point. Oh, no, that's Outlook Point, right, off of, Lakeview.
Lookout
Oh,
point.
that's Lookout, okay, all right.
Well, I kind of like the sound of Overlook. But it's what the board wants to decide.
Is there anybody here from North River Lake Road, east? Okay. So what's the name of your show? Well, that's what we're discussing right now, which one we're gonna pick. Sorry, we'll get to this, Steve, we'll let you know exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say, I kind of felt like Bazo might be something that, I'm probably not even pronouncing it right, and to me, that could be a problem if people can't spell it or pronounce
Right,
it.
right.
So I'm inclined towards Birch Tree or, Overlook.
I'm inclined to Birch Tree.
That was kind of my first choice.
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
North River Lake East Road will be Birch Tree.
All right. Bardary, the first Sprague, proposed was Cardinal Lane, Cottage Way, and Hemlock Trail. Again, that cottage was one of the ones that was flagged by the state that we might want to avoid, so that would leave Cardinal Lane or Hemlock Trail.
So we go with Cardinal Lane.
Fine by me. Any?
No, that's good.
I'm sorry, what?
Am I allowed to speak?
On that,
On that,
Bardary Lane, is hemlock possible?
well, what we're looking here was suggestion one was Cardinal Lane.
Oh, we didn't realize that the suggestion.
Oh, I didn't know,
was
that's,
Bardary.
Do you live on that first spur?
I drove with it for 30 years.
On the first spur?
Yeah, I really don't like Cardinal Lane, to be completely honest.
Is there anybody else from the first spur here? You are? That's up,
Last meeting, it wasn't made real clear how not road splits again. So Main Street's gonna go to the left, Main Street's gonna go to the right. So I don't know how that helps enhance 911. The map that Chris had up shows that Bardary Lane curves. It actually doesn't. When you get down that part of the road, you're actually making a left turn to go down to 3 of the houses, and you're veering off to the right to go to 2 houses. So what I would suggest, and the reason it was suggested to me, is that a friend of ours used to be the police chief of Gulfstown. His wife was a dispatcher, his sister-in-law is still a dispatcher. I was opposed to changing the name, and they convinced me that I was wrong. They told me I was wrong, it had to be changed to enhance 911. What they did say is that you should bring a road in and then have the road split being the same name. They've been to my house several times, and they know that when you come in, you go to the left, you're making a left-hand turn. So the 3 of us that are on that turn, are requesting that that section of the road be named something different, so that it doesn't come back in the future to us that we would have to change the name again.
Chris, can you speak to that?
You're talking about the very end?
The very end.
Okay. One of the challenges with any map, and with the 911 maps in particular, what is the actual road, and what is a driveway, and what is a shared driveway? Those are all kind of hard to depict here, particularly for us, given the history of these roads and it's just the nature of all these things. If the folks at E911 were concerned with the fork that it goes, I think you're talking about the fork that goes to 32 and 34?
Correct.
Okay. If they were concerned about that, if it served more houses, they would probably have called for an additional road name there. Would be, and you see that in a few other places where 3 houses on a shared driveway needs a new name. That's the convention that they use. You could, if you chose, you could, add a road name somewhere if you want to. We could also try to go a little extra with signage in some way too, so.
I just say something. So,
I just have a proposal that seems like it would make everybody happy, which would be to have Cardinal be the first part, which would include, I just happen to know, the person who wants Cardinal the most would be on that road. And the 3 to the left, which were mostly here, could be Hemlock Trail and Cumberland.
I was just gonna ask how many houses that serves those 3.
Yeah,
If-
you have 3 of the houses.
And it's not a shared driveway.
Right, well, there's one of the other pieces that showed driveway. But let's go ahead and call that other piece part of the road. We'll call that Cardinal, and the spur to the left, Hemlock Trail.
You're suggesting naming the part to 32 and 34 as Cardinal?
Yeah,
Is that
Cardinal
what you're,
would go all the way
okay.
from the mailboxes to there. And Hemlock would split off to 26, 28, and 30.
Does that mean it's the first spur off the bar area?
It's my first spur off the first spur. First is first to the left.
Does that work, Chris?
I don't know what the state's gonna say about naming what they look at now as a shared driveway. 32 and 34, they view it, it's 2 houses, it's not a street, by their naming conventions. I don't know what it looks like. They all look the same. They're the same width, they look like roads. I would say go ahead, and if they got a problem with it, then they'll tell us, but, I don't think there's any harm in proceeding with that.
Okay, so it
That'd be
would,
my guess at what they're gonna say,
so
but
give me, it would be, which ones would be,
First spur would be Cardinal.
would be, which, 21?
Cardinal Lane?
Hang on, Steve.
Cardinal
Would be which house numbers?
would be from Bardary, the main trunk way back,
Yep,
past 20 and 21,
yeah.
down to the fork of 32 and 34.
And then 28 and 30 become Hemlock?
26, 28, and 30 become something else.
Okay,
And that is a left-hand turn. It's not a curve. It doesn't look like a continuation.
What would Hemlock Trail be, what numbers?
26, 28, 30. What would be 32 and 34?
Cardinal would just be continued to that.
That would, the only other thing which we can live with is that Cardinal would then be part public Class 5 road and part private.
And wouldn't the
Not the
house
end of the
numbers
world, we
change?
see it.
I mean, that,
Probably.
if they didn't change it, that's gonna be confusing for E9 and 1, I
Yeah,
imagine.
yeah, but they are probably gonna change. Everything, yeah, they're all gonna change.
so can we just make that one pending? Like, let's
Yeah.
just make that pending further investigations. We'll take that recommendation, but we just wanna make sure that that flies with the state and that there isn't anything else that we're not considering at this point.
Cardinal Lane.
Lane,
Ultimately, yeah.
what?
Maybe both. Or we all step with Hemlock.
Well, we're gonna
Okay.
do the split, yeah. All right,
Both of those are.
yes, yep, so Bardary, the second sprig. Which is where we had recommendations for Loon Landing, Eagle View, and Eagle Lane.
Eagle's being used a couple of times
Eagle
here.
was being used a couple of times. There were 4 residents on that road who recommended, Loon Landing. So I'm inclined to,
4 out of 4.
I'm inclined to go with Loon Landing on that one.
I mean, it's none of my business, that's not part of my road, but I think you guys should look at that, because the same thing happens there. You get down to the end, you're gonna make a sharp left to go to the majority of the homes, and then it continues straight, and it goes to a right of way for some homes that are off the lake. Again, there's still one waterfront home that's there, and I think that should be looked at. Because there again, you're gonna have a split road.
Hang on,
If the state was worried about it, they would have told us.
okay.
So there's no, they're not compelling us to make a change. Doesn't mean that it's not a valid point, it's just not something that they've pointed out for us.
Okay, so is it something that we need to look at?
We'll ask, I think they're looking at a driveway to 46 in that case and nothing else, like,
Yeah, there's no other house that goes on there.
they're looking for structures, they think in terms of structures, so I think they're probably comfortable with this being all
Okay,
that one road.
are you guys good with Loon Landing?
Yep.
Where does that cover from?
It's gonna cover from Second Spur, yes.
Hey, Lorraine, I'll give you the list afterwards if that makes it easy for you, okay? Yeah, I'll give you, this is what the road is and this is where the board is, because I know it's hard to follow this. All right, Mindle East was the one that was being changed. We've got a proposal agreement amongst the neighbors that it be Eagle Point. Anybody concerns, questions? Eagle Point it is. All right, the no man's land between, Brussels and Tuckaway Shores. No name. The name that has been proposed is Gladys Way. That's, in my neighborhood, I know that there's consensus amongst folks that that would be the name that we would want to go with.
Good.
The name?
Gladys Way. Glady.
Apostrophe S.
Oh, Gladys is hard, yep.
Ben,
I don't have an issue with it, no.
what's that?
I don't have an issue with it.
All right. White's Grove, Lottie.
What about Tuckaway Shores?
That's what we just did.
Okay.
You Just did the
Oh.
connector.
Where it was just a connector, Tuckaway Shores stays as.
Okay.
There's a second piece on Tuckaway Shores.
What's that?
There's a second piece on Tuckaway Shores,
Where?
6 and 8.
That wasn't on this list. Oh. Right, okay.
We're already using loam.
Tell me where that goes, Chris.
Boat ramp,
Okay, yeah.
the boat ramp down off of
Okay.
Tuckaway Shores.
And so that's where
Right
they
by
want
Minor East.
Loon Lane, which we've already said Loon Landing for Barderry. That's too close.
Boat ramp road, I don't know.
No.
Just throwing an idea out there.
Next thing we know, there'll be a sign in downtown Raymond. Any,
It's your neighborhood, you know the people.
Yeah.
I'm
yeah,
not gonna put you on the spot, but that's,
yeah.
I have no,
Donna's Lane?
I like that.
Yeah, let's
I
go
like
with
the way
that.
you think. Yeah, I mean,
What other bird?
the other suggestion for the connector road between Brussels and Tuckaway Shores was Martha's Way, and I honestly don't know where that came from, except for it came from Dave Whitney, who's got the history in the neighborhood. So I'm assuming it's a, you know, a descendant of the Russell
go with that.
Rindle family, so I think I'm fine with that.
okay.
Okay.
There's,
Just say that one again. Tuckaway Shores with rename.
Oh,
That would be the Martha's.
yeah, but it's not, you don't wanna say Tuckaway Shores, you wanna say Tuckaway Shores number 8 and number 6. Cause it's not all of Tuckaway Shores.
Got it.
Whites Grove, Lottie Lane.
so there's 2 on White's Grove that would need to be named, not 1. I got names for the second one, so.
Where are the 2 on Whites Grove?
One is at the end of almost to the end of White's Grove. That's the one being proposed to be Lottie Lane. The name Lottie comes from Webby White Jr.'s wife, who was a dearly loved person on the road. She was a sweetheart. Lived on the road basically almost her whole life, so everybody on that road is in consensus with changing it to that name.
Okay,
It's Lottie, Lottie.
Steve, I can get you all this when they're done. You don't have to,
yeah, that would be
you
great.
don't have to do this in real
What's the
time.
second part of Whites Grove?
The second part of White's Grove is the first spur that comes off it, at 46 White's Grove and then goes down. There is 1, 2, 3, 4 year-round homes on that part and 1 camp. And that was proposed with the consensus of the neighborhood to be changed to Rockland Road or Rockland Way.
Chris, why wasn't that flagged? Again, is
Was.
this, so I just missed that?
Yeah, it's right here on the, this is the road here.
There, you may have seen them as New Road 8 and 9.
I was looking at this, I didn't see it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we didn't hear from that spur.
Okay,
Well, because I knew, that's,
all right,
you didn't hear from her because
okay. So Rockland Road, I have no problem with that.
But Rockland Road, Rockland,
Which do you want?
it weren't clear. They just said Rockland. So I
Right,
guess-
you wanna do Rockland Lane?
Rockland Lane. There you go.
feels more like a lane than a road.
Yep.
Yep.
That's fine. And so what are the numbers for that one, John?
I have to go on the map.
46 to 52. And then 53 to
Wait, 46 to
60.
52 is,
Lottie or?
that's, Rockland is 46 to 52?
Correct.
And then Lottie's Lane is
53 to 60.
53 to 60. Okay, got it. Okay, cool. Then there's Lamprey.
You're
Which,
good with Pine and Union, Union becoming Pine. That was just a all for one.
Oh, on, North River Lake?
Yes.
So we didn't have every road on this list, because I was going by.
Everything you had feedback on was on that list.
Okay,
That's a compilation of feedback.
okay.
So everybody that we heard from is listed there.
Okay, so what's the other one? What's this one now?
Union becomes Pine, the whole thing becomes Pine instead of being two separate roads.
You guys good with that?
Yep.
Okay. Lamprey. What do we want to do with Lamprey?
Oh, we have to put the spurs off Lamprey. Three. Now, I drove down, I'm sure there's people here that know, so, where we're talking about New Road 1, if you're looking on your map on Lamprey.
Yeah.
Where it says 2 new roads. Well, that's actually like a circle. Not a well-defined circle, but it's a circle you could actually drive around. Am I correct with saying that? Anybody on that road?
Part of it was blocked.
Right, thanks, Pete. So it's not blocked at all. I literally drove my car and did the whole circle. So where they're calling that new road that comes off, you know, it should just be all one road, 'cause basically it's a circle. And every house is accessed off that circle.
Hey, Steve, can you hold on, please?
Yeah, wait.
Where are you saying this is?
So you come down here, the road,
Yeah.
and if you come off here, like this just comes and does like a circle.
Okay.
So like, if, you know, this house here is they're all accessing circle, but it doesn't look like here you can go by, but you can.
But it's a circle here, it's not a circle back on this road.
It's all the same.
I can go from here, back here, and back like that.
You got it.
But then how do I know here versus here?
Well, this is just, this basically goes right to the same, I mean, their access goes to his house. It's like a shared driveway that just goes off. And again, if I mean,
Are you making a loop out of what's been labeled New Road 1 and New Road 2?
He is,
well,
yeah.
because I mean, you can literally.
It is this time of year, maybe. We don't plow it as a loop.
Okay.
Listen. The second road is nothing but a right of way that's been taken care of by several people in the area. And it is a road.
It was deeded to us when we bought our property. And we had time and we had to give up space in front of our house so that the road, not a driveway, could be widened for a house to be put on the point where you have a ton of water and the town makes a ton of money. And it's not a driveway. It was widened to be a road and you had to live on a road. You couldn't live on a driveway when we bought our land. So, and the house that's to our right has more frontage after the circle than it does on the circle. Ben, you know which house I'm talking about, the small one? Like if you're looking at our house, it's to the right. They've never made an improvement. The Smiths used to own the land.
Yeah, it goes down. Road,
No, it's right next to where you used to plow us.
okay, all right.
The house on the right, it's a small house, but more of that house has 2/3 the amount of frontage next to our house and 1/3 on the circle, but yet it was put with the circle. And then 3 of us were put together. The point, our house, and the Alders.
May I? You're looking at a
Sir.
map that is
Sir.
totally incorrect.
Sir,
This
Sir.
road, that's my driveway.
I understand.
Go straight.
I know where you are.
This is the map.
This is the,
That's the road, the way it was laid out.
Could you identify yourself for Lorraine, please? Sorry? Identify yourself for Lorraine.
Herb Bernard, 22 Lake.
Okay. So, I'm missing how this is relevant.
This, what he's talking about here, this is where the road comes down now, right? And this circle here,
Yep,
okay? These roads do not connect,
okay.
all right? It's all treed in and everything like this. There's
Yeah.
no way to get from this road here to his property over there.
The only section that's not through is behind number 18.
Correct.
Okay, other than that,
So this one comes down like this, and then literally it stops here.
Was never completed.
Right. There's woods between these two roads.
Okay,
other than that, okay, other than behind 18, that's the only section that's not completed. This road comes down, it circles around here. This one comes down, goes off this, I'm sorry, there's a road in here, comes down to the others. All right, that's not on the map.
I've been down
Okay.
those roads for
But-
47 years. I know exactly which ones is
I've
which.
been there for 40-something.
So
too.
we're on the same page.
So if this goes through, that's one connection. It comes in this way, it can go out this way. This section here, okay, I don't know what this is, because this is a T. But all of this, if this gets opened up, all of this connects to one road in every drive. It goes from, the road comes down here to number 4, goes around the circle, and you can literally drive up here and out the driveway that connects back.
so but what do we mean by if it gets opened?
Yeah, it isn't.
It's
You
not.
cannot take your car
Okay,
from
so
here to there.
that's the way that it
But you
is.
can take it from up the driveway that leads down to the yard.
This is part of that circle.
But from here to here, there's about 100 feet that's not open.
That's not open at all. So it hasn't been open.
Because I opened it up behind my place.
You widened everything out,
behind
yep,
this
yep.
one. And I didn't, obviously I didn't do this
Yeah.
one because it didn't require it for this.
Yeah, about 4 months ago, actually, this spring, I had a conversation with the residents right here. I actually drove down and parked right behind your house and saw that the road doesn't go any further.
Right.
It stops. You made a nice big wide open area behind your house, and
Okay,
And
okay.
it continues on to this lot.
Thank
but
you,
it does not go
The only
through.
one that goes through.
Thank you.
This is the only part that's not.
thank you.
Circle that you're talking about here and.
Yeah.
Okay, so,
It
so
looks like
let's,
two
let's,
driveways,
let's
I
back up, let's back up.
But you know where it is.
So John, given what you understand of the situation and where it has been identified that there need to be 3 different road names, what do you propose?
I just think there should be 2.
And 2 would cover,
Well, road 1 would be the red and the blue
yep,
on the map, the circle.
and then 2 would be the green. Okay, Chris, challenges with that approach?
I don't know that that loop is maintained in the winter.
It is not.
So that, you don't want to send an ambulance down and
Yeah, but
call
you
it
know-
the same,
Like the extension of White Groves that we were talking about, the 2 right there, they're not.
they don't
maintained.
connect either.
And they're not maintained either.
Right, and they're now names, now have different names because they don't connect. If they
Right.
did connect,
They've been
then
one
you could
name.
have one, then
Right.
you could have one name. It's a very similar situation here where you need to have, this is the state talking, not me. You need to have 2 names because you have 2 different roads. They don't connect. You might be able to get through sometimes of the year, but,
We're willing to connect, no?
I'm sorry, could you just hold?
so there's the,
So the biggest problem is that they're not maintained, it's not, there's a section that's not maintained year-round. We're gonna cause confusion if the fire department or the police think that that's a continuous road that they can go around.
Right of way is used by the fire department.
that could very well be, if it's passable, they may use it. But it's
Not maintained by us. So then why are we,
We can make it 2 names. I'm just thinking it's a circle. I can
It's
try
not,
Can I ask everybody to be quiet, please? Thank you.
whether we maintain it or not is not a factor here, except if you want to effectively redraw the map, which is what you're talking about doing. If you look at the E911 map here, they have solid lines for road 1
Now it's
and
done
road
by
2.
her.
Yeah.
That's the way she sees it, then fine. I'm just.
Right, so that's where that's coming, and a dotted line is a driveway in their
eyes.
world, right? Again, this doesn't legally change anything. New Road 2 is, in legal parlance, is a shared driveway. It looks like a road, but it's
What's that?
not a town road.
Okay,
It's a piece of private land that different owners have the right to pass over, but it's not.
2 names or 3?
Three.
Well,
You mean 3?
there's 3 roads are gonna be named. Red, blue, and green.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay, so 3 names. Okay. So Lamprey, let's say 1, give me the numbers on that, please, Chris.
4 through 12.
Okay, and then 2 is, what's the number on that? Numbers on that?
14 through 18.
And then number 3 would be, what are the numbers?
Everything else, 19 and up. There isn't a 19, but 22 would be the first one.
Three names? 3 names? Okay, road number 1.
Keep it
So,
Lamprey.
what's that?
Keep it Lamprey.
Keep that Lamprey?
Road 1.
May I ask a question? I know that several of us who live on Lamprey have sent in a suggestion that
Correct.
maybe New Road 1, which starts with Dollar Dam, doesn't, the change would be made from Dollar Dam to where the split is from Lamprey, would be named New Road 1. And that could be one of the 2 ones going down, because then the numbers make more sense. I take it you did not read the recommendations when we sent them in?
We've got them. We've got them. I'm sorry, what?
But you're not even talking about it.
We haven't gotten to
Road
that.
1 is part of.
We've just been talking about whether we had 2 or 3 names,
Yes.
right?
No, after.
All right, John, what are your thoughts? So the 2 suggestions I saw were Pyro Way and Paquette Point. There was also someone else who suggested Limpet Way. So, thoughts, guys?
So which road are you talking about?
All I said was those were the names that were submitted. That's all I said. We haven't talked about,
Hold on, folks, hold on. John, I made the suggestion to keep part of that as Lamprey. You don't think that's doable, or?
Well, I'm just saying, if Lamprey went from where it switched from Dolph Dam Road all the way, Lamprey Road would continue with the red, so New Road would be Lamprey Road.
Right.
Then everything else now, we're talking changing 30, 32, 34, 36, and 38 are all now gonna have a new road name. So somebody's got, this side's getting a new road name, or that side's getting a new road name.
Actually,
Because you can't have Lamprey go this way, you can't have Lamprey go
can you
that
just
way.
let the board talk, please? Thank you.
I'm sorry, John, say that again.
If the Lamprey goes here and goes down,
Yes.
right?
You're right.
This has to all become a new road. So we gotta rename, so we need residents 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, and 40 that are all
All right,
believing that they're staying Lamprey are now, we're gonna change them.
okay, I'm tracking with you now.
All right?
Chris, comment on that?
Because if, when you drive down the road and you go, if you're going straight and you weren't veering off, that's, the route of travel is straight.
So we actually need 4 names.
No, because I would stay all Lamprey,
That one part would be Lamprey.
all the way down to the point.
So from here,
So this right now is gonna stay from here, you know, you come down.
yep, yep,
This is all staying Lamprey.
okay.
All right,
So
this
then-
is the
so then we
Strang's
need
old
something
point
here,
here.
here, and here. Got it.
Correct, this is the
Okay.
one that you come down there at the end, it splits as a T.
Yep.
This goes over to the Strang's old place and
Yep.
over there, but that's all Lamprey,
Got it,
and then this would be a different
So
one, because
Lamprey's
it comes off a
staying.
spur.
got it. Okay. All right, what do you guys want to do for 1, 2, and 3?
Do you wanna just open it to?
Sure, go ahead.
again, our proposal that several of us have made, is that when Lamprey starts at Dollar Dam Road, it goes all the way up and that's the red road on the, Black Road.
Yep,
Where it splits with
Yep,
We're saying name a new road, instead of Lamprey being from Dollar Dam to that Y, that can give you a new.
No houses on it.
Well, there's gonna be,
What's wrong with just keeping it as Lamprey?
because we're gonna have numbers like 128. I mean, it doesn't make any sense for us to have a number where we are, because there's still houses between us and them. From the beginning of Lamprey Road, it just doesn't make a lot of sense.
But that's up to the postal service, because they track how many feet on the road will get a number. So at some point down the road, that may get developed, and then they're gonna have numbers on that.
That's correct, which is one of the reasons why I think that should be renamed. Because they're, so, Kevin Bassett, his son is gonna be building that.
Yep.
That number, if you go by your 50 feet, is gonna be like 20 or 19, whatever. Our house is gonna be in the hundreds, because you're gonna go every 50 feet, which makes no sense to me. So we're saying go from Dollar Dam to where the Y is, name that a new road, then you can name how many numbers you want. Doesn't matter, because there are no numbers there now. And then where the Y is, one could be Lamprey, one could be in the road, then the numbers are gonna be reasonable.
No man's road.
Chris, so,
I know what he's asking.
yeah, I know what he's asking too. Is there a reason not to do it that way, Chris?
No, depending on where you label Lamprey from that Y, that, you know, that's a big if, but the idea of pushing the name Lamprey to the end of the current Lamprey is fine. You can come up with a new name for that first spur.
What do you guys think of tabling this one
Yeah.
for tonight? Let's step back. Let's think about what really makes sense for this particular line,
I agree.
rather
Is there
than,
any way that we could be involved in that process? Those of us that live on Lamprey
Yeah,
Road?
those of us who have
Send the input.
yeah, if you have any additional input, send it to Chris or send it to the select board email address and we'll get it all, okay?
Public input,
What, on what topic?
Lamprey.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So E911 is a recommendation from the state.
Yep.
It's not a requirement.
Can you, I'm sorry,
Well,
identify yourself for Lorraine.
Paul Kroger, 24 Lincoln Drive. So E911 is a recommendation from the state, okay? The town does not have to accept it, okay? We actually ran into a fire chief of a neighboring community, and he mentioned 3 other towns that did not accept E911, did nothing with it. They also respond to Lamprey Drive, and they never had an issue finding a location. Now, at the public meeting, somebody asked in the audience if the town had any data to support the number of times it responded to Lamprey Drive and if there was any issue. The town had no data. So we asked around, just talking with the residents, 4 times the ambulance responded to Lamprey Drive. 4 times there are no issues. Okay, so obviously.
In what time period?
I don't know that, but we can get it, no problem. Okay, I'm sure it's within the last 5 to 10
provide
years.
the same information, but,
But it's also the chief who's recommending this as well.
Both chiefs.
right.
Both, yep.
Well, I understand recommending it, okay? But again, the citizens, the residents of Lamprey Drive, okay, submitted paperwork, letters, okay? and
As
50
recommendations.
and recommendations, and 15 of 17 houses signed that, okay? You were elected by the town residents, okay? You are supposed to be the people, represent the people, okay? So the people of Lamprey Drive have spoken and said they want to keep it the same. We would like to put additional signage there, okay, so there's no issue at all, okay? And the other thing we could do is that small section of road that it doesn't connect Lamprey Drive, it's blocked. We could open that up, and now Lamprey could be a nice loop, and it'd be no issue.
And you have 2 ways out.
And you'd have people that felt like they were being noticed and they're paying their taxes for a reason. They had some services, but have no services. Did not come down and plow in front of your home when you widened a road and made it a road purpose.
Okay, so it looks like for, thank you for your input. It looks like we've pretty much got consensus on all of the roads except for Lamprey. We need to go back and do a little more digging on that one. Agreed?
I just want you to know, I'm in favor of changing the name of those roads. Just put it out there as
Yep.
being open.
I don't think that's the issue.
Well, I just wanna make sure
Where
that-
it's gonna be,
Correct. I agree. I agree.
Stating it openly that people have asked, and I am in favor of changing the names to meet the 911 status.
Yep, I agree.
The 911 status is a recommendation.
And I'm
not
going with the
stated.
recommendation that it changes. That's my opinion.
So the board has made up its mind.
No, I'm just
and
saying me.
Not speaking, not representing the residents of Lamprey Drive.
I'm
So
representing
let's-
the town also.
We represent the entire town.
Well,
Okay,
the town,
The objective of E911 is to be able to get a location. You can get the location, the standards don't mean anything.
Okay.
No one knows where to go.
okay, we're gonna table this discussion. We're gonna end this discussion. I'll take a motion on the rename of all of the roads except for Lamprey, and we will regroup on Lamprey.
You might want to ask for suggestions for these new roads in the event that you do decide to rename them. You don't have suggestions, much in the way of suggestions from Lamprey residents, and you've been looking for that from the other roads, so
Okay, that's fair, but let's
you're gonna run out of time if you,
that clean
piece
up all
up.
the other ones first. I'll
Are we
take,
in consensus on them all?
what's that?
All the other ones, we already.
We have consensus in all the others. Name, new name. Name, new name. So give me a motion.
Okay.
Right here. Right here.
All right, I make a motion that we, the name change for the upper section of Highland Ave, to Woodland Ave, on North Level Lake Road East. Changing that to Birch Tree Lane on Bardary Lane, the first spring. Split off actually will be Cardinal Lane, then the second split off there will change to Hemlock Trail. Bardary Lane, the second one will be Loon Landing. And then those way, that'll be changed to Eagles Point, Pawtuckaway Shores. We will do one section as Gladys Way, and the extra section that comes off, that goes down to what we consider the boat ramp, would be Martha's Way on White's Grove. The furthest in spur that comes off there will change to Martha's Way, and the first spur that comes off there will change to, change to Lottie's Lane, my bad, so I was reading the wrong one.
Yep.
And the second, the first spur that comes off will be changed to Rockland Lane, and then
That's it.
that's it.
Union and
Oh, no, the Union one
yeah.
will be all Pine Street instead of Union.
Pine Street, not all Pine.
Pine Street.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we will welcome suggestions. We are going to look at Lamprey. The plan right now is that we will look at 3 new road names. We do have to go back and look at it. We've heard what you guys have to say. If you have suggestions for names of the new roads, please email them to Chris or to the BOS email address. If we do not get any suggestions, we will move forward with names that we, all right? That's it on E911, thank you.
Can I ask the board one question? We're gonna have to comply with E911. Why isn't the rest of the town have to comply with E911?
We have, as part of this effort, we have identified the areas that are the most troubling or concerning.
Be the same for all, is it fair for everybody or it's not?
Okay, topic is closed, thank you. Moore's Road acceptance. You guys have looked at everything on Moore's Road? 2 years ago, town meeting, the town approved the acceptance of Moore's Road, pending, conditional acceptance of Moore's Road based on, meeting certain conditions laid out by the town. The, owner, Jim Rosborough, met with the Highway Department, the Director of Public Works, discussed the conditions to be met. The conditions have been met. The Public Works Director has you know, acknowledged that, identified that, so we're now in a position where, are we at a point where we will, formally accept Moore's Road as a town road?
I'm fine with accepting it as a town road. If the highway department said that it's the standards that they're looking for.
Never did this as a standard thing. This has been going on since, what, 2018?
What issue? Or this particular
No,
road?
this particular, I think was it?
2020, right, was it approved? At the
This-
town meeting?
2020,
2020, all right, so.
for this particular road, yes.
19.
Was it 19?
19? Okay.
All right, so we got 3 years here. I assume these, was this in conjunction, that the residents and the town did the improvements to the roads, or?
I believe it was done by the residents.
Resident,
But it's owner of the
The owner of
road.
the road? I'm okay with it.
all right. I will take a motion.
Are we allowed to talk?
We're just gonna just roll through this?
This
Or we
is-
can discuss it. You got emails from a lot of people today, right?
This
Did you or
is-
Did you not?
We got several emails. However, the purpose here tonight is to consider the voters at town meeting voted to accept this road based on specific conditions being met. That was the decision of town meeting. That was not our decision. Our role was to work with the homeowner or the property owner to make sure that the conditions were clear and that they were met. That has been achieved. So our,
It has not.
it has,
It hasn't been, it hasn't. It has
that,
not.
our Public Works Director worked with the property owner and has told us that the conditions have been met. That's what we're going on.
There's obviously a leak in this office too, and I'm gonna let it be known right now, okay? Because after we got all your emails today, we got a threatening text message from the owner of the road. A threatening text message, a threat.
Yeah.
It was a threat, okay?
guys are going with it.
And I'm gonna take it to my attorney's office, and then we're gonna go from there. Everything has not been up to par. Moore's Road goes all the way up to where I live. It doesn't end at the mailboxes.
Could I ask you to calm down, please?
What do you mean?
Thank you.
Well, you don't seem to want to listen to anybody. You didn't listen to the last group of people.
I will take a motion on Moore's Road.
Can I say something? I don't have a problem with you guys taking over Moore's Road. As long as Jim finishes what he started. Never mind leaving these big ditches in the road.
Our role here tonight is to determine if the requirements set forth by town meeting and by the Public Works Department have been met. We have been told they have been met. It is our role to fulfill the desire of the voters at town meeting.
ask
Did
for
you
him.
guys log in? Where's our road agent?
I tried talking to the road agent one day. He couldn't give me any answers. Tried to have a nice conversation with him.
When we
Blew me
had-
right off.
When we had questions, we talked to Jim, Jim told us to talk to you. We called you, you told us we had to talk to Jim.
Yes.
We got no answers.
I,
Never do.
Blown away here. I mean,
Why
we want the road to be accepted. Here we are, we're gonna accept it, and now I'm confused.
No, I just wanna ask a question. Why did it take so long to accept the road?
Well, because
You accepted everybody else's
Right, why was it left off?
South Road.
Why was it left off?
whoa,
in the
whoa,
first
whoa,
place?
time out,
road. Is there
time
a
out. Pay attention to the process, right?
Yeah.
Jim came before town meeting a year before all of the other roads, okay? If you have paid attention over the whole process, Jim came the year before. And at that point, town voters provided conditional approval to accept the road. The following year, all of the other roads were put forward and were accepted. the behavior of the voters in the 2 different years were different. So that's how we are here today.
So this is the last road that you're accepting? Morris Road?
This is the,
There, more roads to be accepted.
yeah, this is the last one that we have come forward to the town.
Because it needed to be widened?
White's Road
Just
is wide as that,
I'm
White's
just
Road is
wondering.
wide as that road now?
It's just a question.
All right, I'm gonna close down discussion on this, because,
Of course you are, if you don't wanna listen to it, wasting my fucking time. I got a good attorney, don't worry.
all right. I've laid it out.
What were the conditions of the roads that need to be met, that supposedly are not met?
South Road meets Moore's Road. He had a construction guy go over there and take a big trench in the road and stuff on our property. That's not completed. That's not done.
There are stakes and cones in the ditch.
It's been a month.
And that is part of the road to which we're going to accept?
No, it isn't, that's part of South Road.
That's part of-
Moore's Road here.
We're not accepting South Road.
Right, so,
No, it is part,
South
it
Road
is
is
part.
already
The
set.
property line goes from,
help me understand, is it or is it not, the construction area that you're talking about, is it on South Road or Moores Road?
South Road.
Okay, but we're talking about Moores Road.
it's on Moore's Road. It's
They
right
went
the
on
corner
South
Moore's and
Road to fix his road. He dug up South Road
Diverted
to
the
make his
water
road
from
better.
Moore's to South.
So he
Now
went
we're
on
gonna
people's
finish that.
property to do stuff he shouldn't have.
I do not have.
What is the complication of tabling this one? Or you still get some more input?
Nothing significant.
Where's the road agent?
My name is Jim Rosborough, 41 Moore's Road. My
You're the
wife and I
owner.
spent a considerable amount of money and time,
So you're the owner?
yes,
Okay.
bringing Moore's Road up to spec for what the road agent suggested we do. That was a condition I needed to meet. It wasn't that I needed to make all my neighbors happy. I understand their concerns, but there's a lot of things involved in getting it. Everybody has their own opinion. I simply did what I needed to do based on what was told to me to do. I did those things, those conditions have been met. As far as I know, there are no other outstanding conditions. The section that they're talking about is actually on South Road. Yes, we had to create a swale to get that water off of Moore's Road. And that's what we did.
That's how you're gonna leave it?
Well-
That's how you're leaving that?
However,
Okay, all right, guys, enough, all right? From now on, if you want to speak, you're going to raise your hand, you're going to get recognized, and you're gonna come up to the table and sit, and you're gonna make sure your name is clearly stated for Lorraine, okay? That's the conditions for moving forward.
so, I'm here to ask you to accept Moore's Road based on the conditions that were met. Everybody's not happy clearly, but I'm sorry for that. Hopefully, you will vote based on what you told me to do. Thank you.
Well, we're technically not even voting on it. We're just basically saying it's done, it's done. It's already been voted on by the town.
We do have to make a motion that says that we recognize that it's been done.
Have we physically gone out there and looked?
Do you want a meeting with the road agent?
Yes.
Chris, I understand that Chris is talking to the road agent, I mean, he has to be here, he's already given his approval.
I would feel comfortable if we all, as a board, walk that road and go over each and every discrepancy of that road to ensure that it's brought up to.
So you're saying that you don't want the road agent?
I'm not saying that at all, but I wanna see, I wanna visualize it. I'm a visual person, okay?
You did have time to do that before this meeting.
You're absolutely right, sir. You're absolutely right.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion. I mean, I've been down it years past. I haven't seen the new construction. I apologize for not making it down to see the new construction. That's my bad, and I'll take responsibility for not taking a ride down it before this meeting. But I've been down it before, many, many times. I was in favor of being accepted back in 2000. Or 99, sorry. Or 2019. 50 years straight.
So is there a motion or is there not a motion?
I can't vote for it.
make a motion to accept the road.
Would you like to expand on that?
Do you want me to state it like that?
It's
Yeah, okay.
it's a little more specific.
Yep, you got it. All right, make a motion. In accordance with the town meeting vote of 2019, the select board finds Moore's Road to be sufficient for the current level of use and hereby accepted as a class 5 road, the portion of from Raymond Town Line to the parcel at tax map 72 lot 13.
I'll second the motion. All in favor?
And then we'll hear from an attorney.
Okay. Thank you. That's it.
You guys suck.
Bad, we voted out.
We pay your
Somebody's
salaries.
gonna get hurt in that ditch.
You should go look at it and see what we're talking about.
Topic's closed.
That's
You were
all I'm
right,
asking.
you were right.
Topic's closed.
What he did to my
You like
property,
saying done, right? So then you make it go away?
so bad, just does whatever he wants.
Please,
Question?
take a ride, that's all I ask.
No, they already voted. They won't take a ride.
I know.
One guy, the other can go.
Okay, Eric.
My name is Mike Heyer.
Okay.
And I live at 27 Moores Road, which is right at the corner of Moores and South. If the town accepts this road, then they're gonna fix this hole with the...
You fucking rip it up, asshole!
Hey,
All up.
come on, guys.
So now the town's
I wanna
responsible
make
for
a
fixing
whip
it.
off your fucking yard.
You're still gonna live in that neighborhood too, you know?
Topic's closed. Topic's closed. If you have additional question, send it to Chris and we'll address it. Additional.
Okay, so we
The
have...
topic is closed. Thank you. If you have any additional comments or questions, please send them to the town administrator and we'll look at them.
Okay.
All right?
All right, so the town's responsible for the
I
road?
think I have
Yeah.
Susan Johnston. I think you need to know that we've all been personally threatened by Mr. Osborne. I don't know if you saw the text.
I'm not gonna get into that. That's not, that is not our area of responsibility.
This whole thing has threatened us. I'm glad you were told, but don't threaten me personally that you're gonna take away everything from me.
I'm sorry, there's nothing,
I've been on that road.
I'm sorry, there's nothing the
many
board can do
years.
about that. I'm sorry. Sorry.
Very not right. And as far as I'm concerned, the extension for my mailbox, Diamond has always been the end of that road, who I am, and that road should be extended out, so those people are part of the road. They're paying taxes, it's a small piece. And I have to say, I am for them. They're having to pay for it all.
Okay, as soon as Ben comes back, I'm sorry, there's nothing we can do about that issue. As soon as Ben comes back, we're going to move on to the next topic. We're moving on, I'm sorry.
That's beyond,
I read,
goes beyond that. It's a point of information. Well, first of all, thank you for being elected official. It's not easy. But who, the follow-up questions get mailed to specifically?
If you send it to Chris, he forwards everything to us.
Christmas, I sent stuff to Chris and it makes it, but what's the last name?
Sterndale.
Ferndale. Here, let me give you, let me see what I have a card. I don't find my cards with me. Let me see what we got here.
did I not get everything on board?
Ben, are you ready to move on? We're going on to cemetery land now.
I have one thing I would like to say on Ward Road, if I can.
The discussion's actually been closed.
It has been closed.
All right, so I would recommend if you have a question, send it to the email to the Town administrator or the BOS. Okay.
Thank you. All right, Chris, cemetery land.
You got the write-up on that. New Hope Church has been using a little sliver of cemetery land for 10 or 15 years anyway to stretch out their parking lot. They want to pave it. It's now gravel. And before they did that, they wanted to just come back and check with us and kind of formalize the arrangement that they've had verbally for a while. Let's see, this is structured as an MOU because you don't have the authority to permanently give away the use of town land, but you can loan it to people or let them use it in some way. That's why this is structured the way it is. Cemetery trustees have blessed this concept. It's not going to be used for anything cemetery related. It's a small strip of land that they're going to asphalt.
Should we be in the habit of, I mean, paving it, that's kind of permanently changing it. It's not their land. How?
No.
You can tell them to take it up if you ever change your mind. That's how this is written.
Okay. So I've got a informal verbal permission to use a small portion. If they're gonna pave it, I'd be in favor of getting it written.
Not to sound bad on this, but, you know, I mean, it's exempt from being taxed. I mean, why are we giving our land?
Is it usable land?
Not for cemetery purposes, no.
For anything else?
Well, it's part of the cemetery, so you'd have to, legally, you'd have to break out the cemetery, and it's actually at the bottom of a hill there, so I don't
nothing
think
there.
it's usable.
It's where the truck's parked right now, right?
Right, yes.
I don't know.
Well, if you drive by, there's a truck.
I'm driven by today, but it's if you stand in front of the church, it's the far right side of the church parking lot.
Yeah, they have a truck parked on the lawn or the grass area over there.
Okay, yeah,
That's the spot where they're talking about pushing it that much further.
Well, I don't know exactly where the line is, but what they're talking about doing is paving what is now gravel. As I understood the description of it.
That's correct. They're over there.
Your, poor man's lawn or gravel, what have you, could be either one, but.
So they're already using it, they just want to pave it.
Would you be opposed of this is just an informal verbal permission, but if they're gonna pave it, would you be in favor of a written?
That's what we're doing.
It's an MOU.
Yeah, okay, so there wasn't one, we're gonna put one in place now.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, okay, I
Yes.
get behind that.
Yes. So basically, what they're asking for, and what Chris is proposing, is that we enter into a memo of understanding with the New Hope Free Evangelical Church so that they can take a piece of property, town-owned property, that they're already using as a gravel parking lot and pave
We
it.
give permission to use it as a gravel parking lot? Or it's just been done?
It was reported to me that there was verbal permission given by one of my predecessors. But it was before my time. There's nothing in writing.
They've been using it all this time.
But essentially, the town has no use for it, and the way that the wording here is that Town of Nottingham or its select board may terminate this agreement with 30 days' notice to the church at any time and for any reason. Upon termination, the church shall generally restore areas of the easement by grading, loaming, and seeding.
It'll never go back. Once we give it, it's there, it's done.
But what do we want?
What's the chances of the town, or our, later on down the road, coming and taking it back? First, I mean, the only way we're gonna take it back is if we actually needed it for something.
What would we need it for?
I don't know, I mean, if we had to expand the South Cemetery down there, you'd have to
Yeah,
have a
but you
different.
got that ditch right there, and you got that
You'd have to
overgrowth.
literally come down the side of the, literally make it on the side of the road.
Yeah, no.
You know, I'm just saying, that's, because remember, the South Cemetery was there, and when you go up the, they already expanded going down the hill, before the wall. You know, there's all graded right there
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
because there's, I mean, South Cemetery, it's growing, it's, I mean.
It is.
It's, but
Yeah,
people
but-
keep dying and people keep being put in there, so.
The
That
cemetery,
land was all dedicated for, back whenever they made that, for that purpose.
I understand that, but that small portion of land can't be used for anything.
the cemetery trustees also support this.
Give it away, good. I'm just making a point.
Yep, that's fair. I'll take a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to allow, or to enter in an MOU with New Hope Church in regards to piece of land to the right of their building to be used for parking area and to pave.
Is that language work
That's
to you,
fine.
Chris? Okay, second.
All in favor? I have a second.
Oh, I was asking for a second.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you seconded it. I'm sorry.
You're gonna have to second it.
What's that?
You're gonna have to
I'll second it. All in favor? I was just not jumping in. Okay, purchasing policy. Chris sent us the revised purchasing policy based on feedback giving at a previous meeting. And Chris, you're looking for any final comments and a motion to accept this policy, correct?
Yes.
It was discussed at last meeting,
Yep.
for what we're gonna recommend for limits of what they're going to be able to spend without.
Did you guys see the updated draft that Chris sent out? The updated document?
It's fair.
Can I have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to accept the purchasing policy as written. To adopt, I'm sorry, to adopt the purchasing policy as written.
That work, Chris?
Yep.
Second?
I second it.
All in favor? Mid-year budget review.
All right, you have, the budget spreadsheet from June 30. Overall, in half of the year, we've spent about 46% of the budget. No huge surprises. The biggest variances are in highway related to winter operations. You see that in a few different line items.
I have one question on that right
Yep.
now. With what we saw, the proposed for the redoing of Flutter Street,
Yes.
and towards the highway budget? How's that gonna?
So the
As far
Flutter,
we weren't planning on doing all that to Flutter Street.
we're gonna spend less on paving this year than we talked about last time.
Okay.
That's the very short answer.
Something's gonna cut in order something else get done.
No, we're gonna do a little bit less and do more later. Flutter will end up being, in the long run, will end up costing more. This year it'll cost a little less. Because instead of putting a final coat on it, we're gonna grind it and put a base coat down. Means in the future, we're gonna wanna put a overlay coat to put more on it. So the total cost for Flutter Street over the 2 or 3 years it takes to do this will cost more than we originally planned. It's gonna cost a little less this year, but over the 2 or 3 years, it will cost more.
So we have to figure this into the budget for,
It will become part of the CIP and the road maintenance plan for next year and the year after. It'll effectively push something later or cost more, one or the other. Those funds are coming from 2 places. One is the warrant article for asphalt, for road reconstruction, that $300,000 warrant article.
Shimmin thing?
And then it'll also come from the line here, you see it at just the end of the highway department, contracted road maintenance projects, that 300,000 at line 276. So that's the impact of Flutter for this year is we're gonna end up spending a little bit less. Overall, does that answer your?
yeah, I was just
question?
curious, I was just thinking ahead for budget wise, you know, when I saw the number of 400K or whatever it was, I mean, not the exact number, but I know it's around that.
Yep.
You know, how that was going to be expended out.
Yep.
That was something we were writing.
The last time, we ran through this, last time Sean was here, we talked about, we talked about a $600,000 pot of money, 300 from the operating budget and 300 from the warrant article.
Right.
That's gonna do the paving plan, and it's gonna do the work we wanted to do on Highland. We talked about the drainage work on Highland, so that was, all of that together. We're gonna have room in the budget to do that, and with the change, we'll still have room.
I thought the drainage issue on Highland was gonna be covered by ARPA funds.
It can be if you want it to be later. You've got a lot of flexibility over the next 2 years with new highway money that's coming from the legislature and the ARPA money that you haven't used yet. So, we look at the budget, we spent half the budget, but we know we have a little bit of flexibility with those things if we need it at year end, so we can be comfortable with that. You'll see, as we come into CIP, then I think we'll really start having conversations about what do you do with that ARPA money. We've always been targeting capital projects and capital purchases for that ARPA money. You could use it for day-to-day expenses at this point if you wanted to, but we've not needed to do that and not desired to do that. So you can, when we talk CIP, that's the time to think about how you're gonna spend that money. And we've got a considerable amount of additional highway money coming. We don't know exactly when it's coming, but it is coming, and that's gonna help us with.
Dollar amount?
Not yet, but it's 6 figures. Over 2 different years, probably. So it's considerable. That will function as our panic money for this year if needed. Hope it doesn't come to that, but, and then it'll be available for whatever you want to use it for. Good there? Couple other things, we've got a couple things, we got there's a police equipment line that's way over budget shown here. We've got grant money coming to offset that. You'll note, our election expenses are way high because of the audiovisual production at town meeting. We weren't anticipating that, so we're gonna blow, that budget's blown. It's not, it's $5,000, $6,000, $7,000. The biggest line, health insurance, we're gonna be okay. We've got some vacancies that are. Yeah, what doesn't show up in here, but will eventually, is the extra money for the fire department that was voted in a different warrant article. So there are some costs in here that are, you know, they're gonna be covered by that money. How we end up presenting that money, I'm not figured out yet. It's kind of weird to have operating money in a different place than in here in the operating budget, so we haven't figured out how to report that to you yet, but that's 80 grand this year, 70 grand, 75 grand, something like that this year that is gonna pay for the new firefighters. And that'll come in right on budget essentially. So that's good and safe. And then at the very end, our debt service, we had to budget the full year's debt service payments, and then town meeting voted to pay off those debts. You remember last meeting, you greenlighted the payoff of the two big loans. So here in the operating budget, we're not gonna spend the remaining 66,000 out of here for debt service, because we took that money out of fund balance by town meeting's vote. So there's another 60,000 of cushion here if we need it. We're typically at June 30, we've got a little bit more than 4% in our pocket. We're closer than we often are. So I think we're okay for the year because of those cushions that we have. But we're tighter than we typically are. In one way, that's a good thing, because we're staffed up in lots of places that we often aren't. So that's often how we're sleeping easy budget-wise, is from having vacancies all over the place. We only have that in one place right now, so. And on the revenue side, I think I sent you that electronically. I didn't print it out for myself tonight. There's nothing out of the ordinary there. There's nothing, oh yeah, that's still, yeah, we can do that.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought that's what you were looking for.
Nope, just there's nothing crazy. I gave you the hints on what's coming from the state. That's new money on our other revenue streams are all pretty much on track. So we'll be looking to project full year revenues in about a month and get ready for tax rate setting. So that's coming.
Any other questions for Chris?
Ben just handed me the default budget memo that, I don't, but if you are ready to set that number, you can just kind of cross that off the list of things we need to do for budget season.
Yeah. Do you have any questions about the default budget, John?
All right. Adopt or accept? Oh, yeah, okay. I'd like to make a motion that the select board approve the 2023 default budget of $4,541,263. $4,541,263.
Second that.
All in favor?
I am.
Okay. What's next, Chris?
Cahill, no parking, and Parks and Rec month are all things that, you have memos or.
Yep.
You mean Mary Hill and Deerfield Road? Is it no
Correct.
parking?
Nope, that's the parking one, yes.
Yep.
We're gonna put up signs?
Yes. If you tell us to, we will.
I mean, I understand the Deerfield Road, and the weather's been great, there's limited parking. The state does that for a reason, to limit the amount of people. You know, if they wanted to, they'd clear out 20 acres, so you can park 5,000 people down there. But there's a reason why they don't. So our road should be, and again, it's not, I feel for people that can't access the water there publicly, but I feel that we should, I mean, that's our road, and we can't, it does create a hazard with people trying to pull in, put their boat, their trailers there, and we're not talking just a small car, we're talking F-350s with 24-foot trailers on top, I mean, out back, it's.
And is there a drop off there too?
What's the deal? They go drop off, and then they'll go park all the way up, even out the whole road. They'll park on any little side they can find, and it just becomes a.
Yes.
Yes, you can't go too far, you're going down, but that doesn't mean people still won't, you know, or even people that are car toppers, they'll go there, they'll park there, and just with their car, you know, you put your kayaks in or whatever there, and you just run off the road and.
Yeah, I don't want to overstate the frequency of it now. It's not a major,
It's not.
it's an occasional thing.
But every year, it's getting more and more and more. You know, I mean, when the Lake Association comes with the numbers of how many boats they're checking, you know, they have the data from the lake hosts that sit there. The numbers just, I mean, thousands each year, it keeps going up. So it's not I mean, last year they did
The
50,000.
parking spaces haven't increased.
No, no parking space increase.
John, what were you talking about?
We're talking about the parking on Flutter Street on busy days where people are accessing the boat launch.
Oh, okay.
Not on Flutter Street, excuse me, on Deerfield Road.
Okay, from that road, what's that road called,
There isn't a road, that's the state boat access is what it's called.
the funding.
Right. You've been down there. Yeah, you've seen the kid, right, so.
Okay, so then there's two, there's Deerfield and Mary Hill. Any,
Well,
Mary Hills, when that,
Isn't for the event?
well, if that reception place ever,
Oh, right over there, yeah.
when
right,
that
yeah.
finally kicks in, parking is gonna be a premium, and that's gonna be a traffic hazard right there if they're allowed to park on either side of that street. So,
Yeah. Put signs up there too.
all right, I'll take a motion.
It's public safety we're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
your turn.
Oh, I make a motion that we pay an ad for the appropriate number.
Chris gave us.
I don't have that, oh, right there, okay, want to read the motion? I like my own, but okay. The select board hereby approves postings the following town roads as no parking with exact locations at the discretion of the public works director. Mary Hill, Road, both sides between Route 4 and Strawberry Lane, and Deerfield Road, both sides in the vicinity of the Fundy Cove boat launch.
Second.
All in favor? Next, Chris.
Sorry. Cahill Lane.
Mr. Bergeron.
Yeah, you know the history of this. Town meeting approved the discontinuance of a short section of Cahill Lane not long after accepting it as a Class 5 road. The only condition of that discontinuance was that you be satisfied with the arrangements for a truck turnaround, and I am suggesting that you can be. They've worked out, Public Works and Mr. Bergeron have worked it out, where it's gonna be. It's on a plan, it's been approved by the planning board, there was a related.
Is it done?
Yeah, it's usable, whatever the.
So our truck, the town truck can go and use the access and turn?
There's a turnaround that they're happy with, yep. Probably won't look like the road, but it'll work. That's okay, it's only per case.
There are two houses anyway, so.
Yep. Yep.
I'll make a motion that the select board hereby approves the easement deed granted by Matthew Bergeron to the town dated July 19th, 2022, and shown in the plans approved by the planning board in case 22-005-LA, with the easement completes the discontinuance portion of the Class 5 Cahill Lane.
Second.
All in favor? Okay. What else, Chris?
Parks and Rec Month.
Yeah.
You got a note from Courtney and a request to designate think it's July,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
And you have a document in your folder that lists the whereases and wherefores of that designation. It is certainly Parks and Rec Month here at the community center. There's a kid
Seen a lot
everywhere.
of kids out there. I think that's great.
He does such a great job. Does anybody have any concerns about doing that? Okay, do you need a motion that we proclaim?
Sure.
Okay.
Just sign the document there that says you've so proclaimed it.
Okay. I think it's a great thing.
Yeah.
It's an excellent thing, so I will take a motion from someone.
I'd like to make a motion to proclaim month of July Parks and Recreation Month, per the memo set forth by the Parks and Recreation Director.
Second.
All in favor? Do you have a specific document you want us to sign?
I think it's in your folder. We had it,
It's in my folder.
or it's in one of the signature folders. It was made to look nicer than the usual. And you have to go back and do assessing yet.
Yes, we do. All right, let's go back to assessing.
All right, so I pull that up.
I will take motions.
Report of cut and intent to cut. Aren't they one and the same?
One's before, one's after.
Okay. We'll do the two reports together. I'd like to make a motion to approve report of cut, map 13, lot 8, map 11, lot 7-1.
Second.
All in favor?
I'd like to make a motion to approve abatements. Have everybody had an opportunity to look at that? Before I make the motion?
Oh, did you look at them?
I looked at them.
Okay.
I'm good with them. I was just gonna reread them, but.
So abatements, map 31, 10-7, map 1, 173-2, map 1, 62-1.
Well, 31-10-7 is not one that we want to approve. I think we might take a look at that.
Okay, I will retract my motion.
You want to restate your motion?
I'll restate it as, I'd like to make a motion to approve abatements map 1, lot 173-2, map 1, lot 62-1.
Second.
All in favor?
And I'd like to make a motion to approve the intent to cut, map 29, lot 8.
Second.
All in favor?
Okay. Discuss.
Waiting for a motion on it. Unless you want discussion on it.
John, you want to make a motion on this one?
Sorry, there's a lot of information on this one.
173.2? That's the one here.
No, it's the
31.
31.
31.10.7, okay.
Sorry. Do you guys have any questions or thoughts, or you need more time?
Yeah, so, I mean, this is going back over, I know the house, I know everything, I know not everything, but nothing's in there that, we're gonna go with the assessor's opinion that we're not changing their, tax abatement. How do we word that is? Map 31, lot 10.7. Vote to stay the same as what the assessed value is?
Deny the,
We're denying the abatement request, sorry.
want to give that to Lorraine one more time?
We're denying the abatement request.
Mr. Moore made a motion to deny the abatement request.
Map 31, lot 10-7.
Do I have a second? All in favor?
May I ask you a question?
Sure.
I was scared to hear about the abatement, but can make some work, so I don't know the lot numbers. So is there any way to find out what lots you're denying?
Go right on to the town, I'm sorry, Donna, did you want to answer that?
It's fine.
You can go right on to the town website, town clerk, look at the tax maps and
Yeah, and I was just looking at this, and I had sent a letter in, and it was on the docket for tonight, but it didn't, it just said our name and whatever, so I need to go back and look at the tax map and get the number to see if.
well,
Yeah, our minutes are also posted right on the website for tonight, and on those minutes, if you look down at the bottom, it actually lists the lot and everything.
Okay,
So you can actually go from that information right there, right to the town's website to see each individual house I was talking about.
Okay. What else? I have one thing, but. Okay.
I went to the dump this weekend, I was very happy. I don't go very often, but I have a lot of cardboard stuff to do, and I
Good.
got to visit with Wayne for a little bit. And I got to see some of his interaction with people. So. I just thought, everything went well.
Good.
For my 30 minutes there.
I was contacted by the chair of the planning board about our representation on that, at their meetings. And I think we had said at the beginning of the year that it was going to be shared 4 months, 4 months, 4 months. And I wanted to know where we are in that cycle.
I think we're about to switch, aren't we? This month, I think we switch, or is it August?
And who is next?
We were going to do, from what I recall, because that goes all the way in, you know, either I'm going next because we weren't gonna have me do my, because I'm on budget.
Yes.
And we know in January, I mean, that's gonna be, I'll be here a lot.
Right.
So instead of having me at 3 meetings every week, going to a budget meeting, going to a planning board meeting, going to a select board meeting, that I was, I think, gonna start.
Okay, so So you're doing it from here?
I will, yeah, I'll get,
Okay.
I knew we were gonna get to one of these points to talk about when we're gonna put.
Yeah, because he just, you know, I mean, his concern was legitimate that, you know, it is a, you know, voting
Position? Oh, yeah.
position within the board, and it's kind of like not being taken advantage of if we're not supporting it. Okay, thank you.
I'm there.
Awesome. All right. What's that?
It's not this Wednesday.
When has it been?
See, Wednesday.
I have plans Wednesday night, so I can't.
You know,
Okay.
I'll be late, but I'll be there.
I'll go to the next ones after that, if you don't mind.
Okay, we got some sign-in to do.
The action items for the next meeting, I know you had said one, but
Well, there's still the carryover of the ethics, and then there is the, renaming of Lamprey Road.
Senior.
There's a long story about the AC in here, but
I know you have that non-public.
We do not have non-public tonight.
I don't need it.
Oh, here it is. Lorraine, I sent you the new names for the roads. Okay.
I think I have most of it.
Okay. No, we're still signing stuff. Roughly.
Can. I'll get the exact one and I'll send it to you in the morning. They have a version that I don't. So I'll make sure you're all talking about the same thing. You got it.
Finally able to connect 15 minutes before we're supposed to leave.
Lorraine, could you send me what Donna sent you with the list of, just forward that to me, please?
I haven't got it yet, so.
Oh, okay.
I didn't win. I was really disappointed actually, because I took my Blu-ray copy version and the voice,
You still need to sign that.
Yep. Yep.
No, that's the
Oh,
one.
that's John. That's John.
yeah.
There's one here that has no place to sign, and this is about I don't know what it's.
That house, I'll start this out.
This one's the one, right?
Summer gone.
I haven't got it yet. She said, but I didn't get it. Donna, did you send it?
I texted you.
Yeah, we denied.
Texted it?
Yeah, you didn't,
This one?
Didn't get that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's.
all right. Chris, where do we sign this? You just sign that.
That's, yeah, that's.
That's you.
Yep.
I think I initialed it.
Your pile now. All right, as much fun as this has been, if there's no other business, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Adjourned.
Dying in here.
Yeah, it's hot.